Today we are going to discuss about IR spectrum of amines and applications of IR spectroscopy in different branches of chemistry. So starting with the IR spectrum of amines. You can see on the screen that in case of amines we have nitrogen and hydrogen bonding, and we have carbon and nitrogen bonding. So different kind of vibrations an amine molecule which may have are NH stretching vibration. NH stretching vibration generally it may be either symmetric, and this symmetric stretching vibration will appear at 3400 centimeter inverse. If I am talking about NH stretching vibration and this is asymmetrical, it appear at 3500 centimeter inverse. This is the case of primary amine. Now, as amines can be primary, secondary and tertiary, so in case of secondary amine, the value of NH stretching vibration may vary from 3550 centimeter inverse to 3310 centimeter inverse. In case of tertiary amines, as there is no nitrogen hydrogen bonding, so there will be no NH stretching vibration. So this is the first kind of stretching vibration in amines. Now we come to NH bending vibration, and these NH bending vibration may include the scissoring one. I have told you previously that in case of scissoring vibration we have the vibrations just like scissor. We operate the scissor in the same way. NH scissoring vibration will be there, that will be called as NH bending vibration, and that vibration will may be from medium to very strong, and the value at which the NH bending vibration will come will be 1650 centimeter inverse to 1580 centimeter inverse. Now NH bending scissoring vibration and NH bending wagging vibration. The wagging vibration will again may vary from medium to sharp, and the value will appear at 909 centimeter inverse to 666 centimeter inverse. So this is NH stretching vibration and NH bending vibration in case of amines. Now the important point for amines is that it have hydrogen bonding and it will depend upon the solvent as well. So because of hydrogen bonding, this particular vibrational frequency may vary, and that will depend upon the hydrogen bonding and the extent of hydrogen bonding, according to which the exact position will be decided at that time. Along with this, we also have CN stretching vibration, and this CN stretching vibration will generally appear at 1350 centimeter inverse to 1000 centimeter inverse. Now we will see some of the IR spectrum of amine. For example, this is your dipropyl amine, IR spectrum of dipropyl amine. In this case, as we know that this is a secondary amine, so this will have NH stretching vibration, and this NH stretching vibration will appear here. Now we want to clear that at this region the hydroxyl group also absorb. Now how can we differentiate between the alcohol, and how can we differentiate between alcohol and amines on the basis of IR spectrum? So it can be differentiated that you have seen in lecture that in case of alcohol, this peak was very sharp and there was a very broad peak at this particular place. But in case of amines, this is a smaller peak as far as the intensity is concerned. So on the basis of this one, we can identify that this particular IR spectrum belongs to amine. Now this is again, you have sp3 hybridized carbon stretching hydrogen carbon and hydrogen stretching vibration, right? And after that, if we are particularly talking about here, this is a particular spectrum of amine. We will discuss in the subsequent slides that this is your primary amine, this is your secondary amine, and then we will also discuss the IR spectrum of the tertiary amine as well. Now come to our primary amine. In case of primary amine, we can easily see that this is your NH stretching vibration. After NH stretching vibration, we also have CH stretching vibration, and this CH stretching vibration is because of sp3 hybridized carbon and hydrogen stretching vibration. Then we will have bending vibrations of this CH2 methylene group is here, and we also have CN stretching vibration here. So from this particular spectrum, we can identify that this is a case of primary amine. Now come to secondary amine. In secondary amine, we are having CN stretching vibration. This particular peak will tell you about the CN stretching vibration. This is CH2 bending vibration, and this peak belongs to CH sp3 hybridized carbon and hydrogen stretching vibration, and this is particular NH stretching vibration here. So this particular IR spectrum belong to secondary amine. Now come to tertiary amine. In tertiary amines, we can clearly see that this peak, there is no peak in this particular area. When there is no peak in this particular area, it means that this particular amine is tertiary because it doesn't have nitrogen hydrogen bond. So this particular IR spectrum belongs to tertiary amine. All other stretching and bending vibrations are present in this IR spectrum, that is CN stretching. It has CH2 bending vibration, and it will have CH stretching vibration, which is meant for sp3 hybridized carbon and hydrogen stretching vibration. Now we will compare this primary, secondary and tertiary amine with aromatic amines, and in case of aromatic amines, you can clearly see that this is nitrogen hydrogen stretching vibration. So it appears at this particular frequency, and this is for carbon hydrogen stretching vibration, because sp3 hybridized carbon is here and carbon hydrogen stretching vibration will appear here. And this particular peak will tell you about the carbon double bond carbon skeleton, means it will tell you about the aromatic compound, that the particular molecule contain benzene ring. And after that one, we can also come to CN stretching vibration. CN stretching vibration is also there, and similarly we can easily identify the mono substitution here. Two peaks are here, and these will tell you about the mono substitution, means the benzene ring is having a single substituent attached to this one, so it will tell you about the mono substitution of the benzene ring. We are having NS stretching vibration, CH stretching vibration. We are also having carbon-carbon multiple bond stretching. We are having CN stretching vibration, and we are having vibration because of the mono substitution in case of benzene ring. So this is the IR spectrum of aromatic amines. Now we have discussed all the functional groups and all other important parameters and aspects of infrared spectroscopy has already been discussed in the previous video lectures. On the basis of all the results, we have analyzed, we can easily identify what are the main applications of IR spectroscopy in chemistry. So, the applications of this particular IR spectroscopy will be discussed in this lecture in various subsequent slides. So, have a look on the slide and see what are the application area in which IR spectroscopy is being used by the chemist, by the person of chemistry, that we can easily use this IR spectroscopy in various aspects. So we will discuss these applications one by one. So starting from first application, identification of the substances. We can easily identify, you have gone through many IR spectrum of various compounds that may include alkane, alkene, alkynes, aldehyde, ketones, phenols, carboxylic acids, their derivatives, nitriles, amides, and the acid halides, esters, anhydrides. So when we analyze all these spectrum, we can easily say that unknown organic compound can be easily identified by using IR spectroscopy. Because in organic chemistry, the functional group is the important part. For example, if we are having alcoholic group, if we are having ethanol, and we don't know what is the structure of that particular ethanol, we can identify that whether the unknown compound is ethanol or something other. How we can identify? We can easily identify, take the compound and take its IR, and when IR will be taken, it will easily tell you that it will contain the sp3 hybridized carbon hydrogen stretching vibration that will appear at around 2900 centimeter inverse. At 3600 centimeter inverse, there will be stretching vibration, hydroxyl group stretching vibration will be there at that time. And if we particularly see that it will also contain, so let's start with our application. So the first application is the identification of the substances. We can easily identify that what functional group is present in the given organic molecule. So for example, I was talking about ethanol. We don't know that what functional group is that particular organic compound is having. We can easily identify the spectrum. We can record the spectrum, and if that spectrum will have hydroxyl group, it will absorb at around 3600 centimeter inverse. So we can easily identify that this particular compound is having hydroxyl group as the functional group. So this is the first application, that we can easily identify the organic molecule. Secondly, the important region in the IR spectroscopy is the fingerprint region. I told you in my one-off lecture that the IR spectrum is divided into two particular parts, that is the fingerprint region and the functional group region. The fingerprint region is a very unique region, and as no two persons are having the same fingerprint, similarly no two organic compounds will have the same fingerprint. So we can analyze the fingerprint region and we can easily detect the compound, we can easily detect the type of functional group in case of organic chemistry. This is a particular spectrum of two compounds. This is a particular alkane and this is also alkane. How it can be analyzed? This is CH stretching vibration and this is CS stretching vibration. In both the molecule it will be same. This is CH bending vibration. CH bending vibration will be there in both the spectrum. And now if we come to this particular area, because this particular area is the functional group region. This is the functional group region. Because both are alkanes, so both will have similar type of spectrum, but this spectrum, as you know, is the fingerprint region. This is the fingerprint region. So the spectrum obtained in this particular region will tell you exactly about the compound. That if we analyze these two areas of two molecules, we can easily identify that these two molecules are not same, these are different. So on the basis of IR spectroscopy, we can clearly say that we can easily identify the organic compound either from the functional group region or from the fingerprint region. Determination of the molecular structure. Molecular structure can be easily determined, and that can be done on the basis of the absorption band into the IR spectroscopy. For example, if we are particularly talking about the carbonyl group, it will absorb at around 1700 centimeter inverse. So we can easily identify that what will be the molecular structure of any compound. It helps in studying the progress of the reaction. For example, reactant combines and they are getting converted into the product. On the basis of IR spectroscopy, we can easily identify the progress of the reaction. We will observe the rate of disappearance of the characteristic absorption band in case of reactants, because the reactants are getting low in concentration because they are get converted into the products, and the concentration of the product will go on increasing. So there will be more and more bands will appear into the product, and disappearance of the bands in case of reactant will tell you about the progress of the reaction. So we can also study the progress of a reaction by using IR spectroscopy. Detection of the impurities. Impurities in any compound can be also easily detected by using IR spectroscopy, and it can be easily determined by comparing the sample spectrum with the spectrum of the pure compound, and if there is a difference, on the basis of that difference we can identify that it will have or it is having certain type of impurities. For example, it is written here that ketone impurity in case of alcohols, right? So on the basis of IR spectroscopy, we can easily detect the impurities in organic compounds. Next is isomerism in organic chemistry, and the isomerism can be either geometrical isomerism, it may be conformers, rotational isomers, and if we are particularly concerned about the geometrical isomerism, that will be trans isomers and cis isomers. So I told you in IR spectrum of alkenes that they exist into two forms. If I am particularly talking about RCH double bond CHR, either cis form or trans form, and we can have different peaks, and we can easily say that trans isomers give a simpler spectrum as comparison to cis, and this is because of the symmetry present into the trans. It can easily identify the conformers, and how it can be identified. For example, in case of ethanols, we have anti-conformer. This is one of the conformational isomer, and this is your another conformational isomers in which this CH3 and hydroxyl group, they are on the same side and they are on the anti side. So this is anti and this is skew conformation. So on the basis of we can identify. However, the difference is very low, but we can identify that which isomers we are having. Tautomerism. For example, keto-enol tautomerization. In ketonic form, we have C double bond O group, and in case of enolic form, we will have C double bond C, and with that C double bond C, hydroxyl group is there. So the C double bond O will be disappeared in case of enolic form. So tautomerism can also be detected on the basis of IR spectroscopy. For example, this is a case of thiocarboxylic acid. It can easily identify the functional group isomerism and how it can be determined. For example, I told you previously that we have spectrum of ethanol and we have spectrum of dimethyl ether. We have dimethyl ether. So on the basis of the spectrum, we can easily identify that ethanol will have a hydroxyl group peak, and the same peak will be absent in case of this particular ether. So on the basis of this one, we can easily identify that whether we are having ether as a functional group in any organic compound, or we are having hydroxyl group as the functional group in any organic compound. Other than these applications, we may also have some different applications which are listed here. For example, forensic and allied applications are there. Much of the evidences, that is left at a crime scene, consist of organic compounds like paint, ink, sweat, fuel, and hair. They can be identified, like, and if they can be identified, they can be easily tell you about the structure or something else related to that one. Blood alcohol content, process monitoring and industrial hygiene, and there are some other applications. Contamination, for example, I have told you in one of the slides. Cell wall of mutant and wild type plant varieties using FTIR, biomedical studies. So these are other applications which are left unexplained, and I think there is no need to explain this one in our course. So we just stick that we can easily identify the functional group, we can identify the structure of any unknown compound, we can differentiate between two functional isomerism, we can differentiate between tautomers, we can differentiate between cis and trans isomerism, we can differentiate that a particular compound is having conjugation or not, we can differentiate that a particular molecule is having intramolecular hydrogen bonding or intermolecular hydrogen bonding. We can also tell you about if hydrogen bonding exists in any of the compound or not. We can also tell you on the basis of IR spectroscopy that if the acid exists into the dimeric form, or it is having a single form, it is having a single, means it is existing in the single form. So on the basis of IR spectroscopy, we can have variety of applications, and in every aspect of chemistry. So that's all about the infrared spectroscopy